What are your NSFW or slightly illegal life hacks? As a former Kmart cashier, it never got old to see trashy people try to rip us off with the buy one get one half off deal. Yes, I'd like to pay full price for these 3 flip-flops and get the 120 work boots for half off. There was one, every time. I just figured this one out a couple days ago. If you've been trying to pirate an electronic textbook, or any other book, but simply aren't having any luck, this method takes a bit more effort than just torrenting, but it's basically guaranteed to work. Software you'll need. 1. Kindle PC app. 2. Abby Fine Reader, OCR software, easy to torrent, optional 3. Adobe Acrobat, full program, not just the reader. Also easy to torrent. 4. Dropbox. Amazon usually offers 7-day free trials on most of their ebooks. First, find the book you want and get the trial delivered to your Kindle PC app. Install Dropbox, because it has a feature that saves screenshots when you print screen rather than having to paste it manually. I'm sure there's better software out there, but this works fine. Set your monitor to portrait mode, as this will allow you to get the highest resolution image possible. Then open the book, set to full screen and keep pressing print screen and right arrow. It's fast and painless process. At the end of it, your Drive Dropbox screenshots folder will be full of PNGs. You can do a 300-page book in under 5 minutes. At this point, you'll combine the files in Acrobat. First, open Acrobat and go to Preferences, convert to PDF GT, PNG and make sure to choose a lossless compression method. JPEG 2000 lossless works best. Then sort the folder by date so that the files are in order, and just highlight, right-click, combine in Acrobat, and voila, you have a PDF with all your pages. If you need the book to be searchable, just open an Abby Fine Reader, let it do its thing, and save as a new PDF. Acrobat has OCR built in, but it's shit. Abby is phenomenal. Enjoy your new ebook. Just want to add that you might need to tweak Abby's output settings to get the best possible readability. At default settings, the text can be a little difficult to read, but it's pretty obvious which options to tweak to fix it. Words. People are pointing out that the books they want are only available as samples, not full books. This is the case for a lot of books, and I probably should have used different language than most and usually. Consider this method more of a last-ditch tool in your ebook pirating arsenal than a go-to approach.
Hey guys, much like you, I love reading people's stories on Ask Reddit. Unfortunately, there's a lot of weird middle school level, just thought experiment type hypotheticals like nice try Baskin Robbins. I don't find this compelling, so that's why I've made it my mission to trawl and crawl through Ask Reddit and find the very best content and put it in your ears. That's why I'm begging you, like and subscribe. If there's anything I can do to help you out, give you the kind of content that you crave to help you get through your workday, let me know in a comment. But please like and subscribe.
I forgot for a second that mace can also mean pepper spray in addition to medieval bludgeoning weapon, and imagine this girl walking along the street and whipping out a big-ass iron Morningstar from her tiny designer handbag whenever she encounters a scat fetishist. I work for a railroad and spend about 3 nights a week in a hotel. When I first hired out, an old-timer pulled me aside and said, "Kid, one of these days you're going to be in the hotel bar. You're going to be lonely. You'll look across the room and see a woman just as lonely as you. Before you go, say hi, walk to the bathroom, rub one off, then go reassess the situation. It's the way to stay married out here." That was 20 years ago. Now I'm the one giving that advice. I have one that my dad did back in college. More of a one-time life hack than anything. His professor basically spent all his free time writing, and trying to sell to Hollywood, a script for a movie. He was barely there during office hours, he was super disorganized when it came to the students, things like that. Come finals. And my dad slept through it. He slept through the final, and was absolutely panicking. So he decided to play things a little underhanded. When grades were posted, and his was naturally not there, he went to the professor and said, "Sir, about my test score. I noticed that it wasn't posted." Technically true, although he didn't state the reason why the score wasn't there. The professor began looking through his notes and didn't find the test. This is because my dad never took it. But the professor was so disorganized that he was convinced that he had lost the test. "Oh, yeah. You gotta be," he said, quickly jotting the grade down on the grade sheet. My dad got up, walked out, and never fucking looked back. In 8th grade I lived in an apartment and I used to stick a wad of tissue paper up the vending machine change return, and every evening I'd reach up there and pull my day's loot of change down. I'd pocket about 7 per day. People just assumed the machine ate their change, for the desperately broke homeless youth. I used to do this when I was a skate rat. All you needed was a hammer, a quarter, and an older vending machine. Hammer the quarter flatter and flatter till it's the size of a silver dollar, one coin whatever. Old vending machines obviously don't have the greatest technology in them and can only read the now flatted coin size as a silver dollar. Then hit the coin return. Your quarter just became 4 quarters. Repeat as much as you like. I turned .25 into 30 at one point. Now that I'm older and make good money, I wouldn't do this, but if anyone is ever desperately in need of money homeless, it definitely helps. Bolded. Yes, this is illegal. I do not encourage you to do this. Obey the law. Source, straight from the Anarchist Cookbook. Most perennial garden plants can be propagated by cuttings. That is, you pinch off a stem from the plant and stick it in soil and it grows a whole new plant. We have dozens of free plants from just walking through parks and putting twig stems in our pockets. It's a victimless crime, okay? Some edits are now necessary. For those of you who are mad at me, please see this comment also. Consider the fact you are on a thread about illegal hacks. For those asking how to do this, please see this comment. There are all kinds of extra tips and supplies, but I am assuming that if you're asking how to do cuttings, then you want an uncomplicated explanation without telling you to buy anything. There's no reason to harm the parent plant from which the cutting is taken. Don't tear at the plant. If the plant is small and would miss the piece you want to take, don't take it. It should look as if you haven't even been there. I'm talking about if you see a wall of honeysuckle and you take a couple 4-inch stems. I'm not advocating taking plants from botanical gardens. And by the way, for those who have implied that, come on, this is the internet, you must have heard of what a straw man argument is by now, if only to post something that isn't about sex. If you're at a crowded concession stand, just go stand up front between 2 of the long lines. Stand there until someone in the back goes, "Are you waiting on something?" Then say, "Oh yeah, just waiting on my chicken strips." They will bring you chicken strips. Because they have no idea if you actually ordered and paid for them. It's been really funny reading the replies to this come in. They're pretty equally divided between "you'd never fucking get away with that at my stand and can confirm, this works all the time. If you are looking for a specific type of job, post an ad on Craigslist for that job with a bogus email address. Now you have a bunch of resumes to use as a guide to make your own. Full disclosure, I've never done this. I just read it, on another similar thread. DBL apparently ads on Craigslist cost money. So if you decide to try this, you will have to do a cost-benefit analysis for yourself.
Hey guys, do you ever have a problem getting to sleep at night? Well, I've got the magic pill to cure your insomnia. Much like you, I used to twist and turn all night. But then I discovered that you can take melatonin and Valerian Root together to get a good night's sleep every single night. I've been taking it every night by for years and years. I've been taking Valerian and melatonin, and this is my life hack to get a good night's sleep and vivid dreams every night. So be sure to click my affiliate links, and I will give you the gift of a good night's sleep.
I remember as a kid I was at a science fair at the university center in my town. I didn't get my change from buying a drink in the machine and reached up to see if it was stuck. Imagine my surprise when I felt some duct tape, pulled it off, and about 30 of change came out. Best of all, the arcade in the center was 3 feet away. That was a good day. I had a boss a long time ago who told me that if his friends were going on a trip out of state country, he would give them his debit card to use. The friends would go and buy hotel rooms, food and other things. He'd then, towards the end of their trip, report his card missing. He can prove he was in the area all week, his friends get a free trip to Canada, and the bank refunds my boss all his money. Oh, slightly illegal. Yeah, this is super illegal. Credit card, not debit. Also, I should note this was in the early 80s, he told me. Boss is in quotes because he was more of a supervisor leader. He also had a scam going where he'd get a fake credit card when he went abroad. This was before they had machines, so they had that manual ink and paper thing for receipts. He'd use that for free stuff, and be gone by morning. A very sketchy man. Oh yeah, definitely. It's literally stealing, which is why I posted it here. I've never done it before, but it occurred to me a couple of weeks ago when I was, in fact, waiting for some chicken strips. The person who eventually gave them to me had no idea if I'd ever paid for them. For all they knew, I did exactly what I described here. I'm a guy. When I was about 17 I started doing Kegels. About 2 months later I could stay hard and horny after I'd come and keep going. Now 7 years later I can come 78 times in one sitting. I'm also much harder and maybe even a little thicker, but I'm not sure about that. Girls love it and it feels pretty good coming multiple times, although the last few are usually blanks, but still feel just as good. Since a lot of you are asking, here's how to do it. Just tense that muscle you use when you stop yourself pissing for as long as you can, rest for a few seconds then do it again. Just do that whenever you think of it. I do it sitting at work quite a lot. Most buffets will bag all the unsold food in a separate trash bag before closing. It's easier for them that way. If you stand around out back you can grab it while it's still warm. Try not to be seen. Most workers don't give a shit, but some are weary of a lawsuit and won't let you have it. Also, if you've got a few bucks but know you're going to be homeless soon, buy the following. A decent razor. A decent backpack, go for comfort, fuck brands you want something with a waist strap, a quality pocket knife. A military cotangent, keeps you dry and relatively unbit, a pull-up bar. Sounds stupid, but hangers are free and the quickest way out of homelessness is 5 nice unwrinkled shirts. If at all possible, a phone able to access the internet. Forget service, it's nice if you can get it but not a necessity. If you can pick up a smartphone with a cracked screen for cheap, that's your lifeline. That's Craigslist jobs and email your resume, office jobs and Google Maps and lots of other really good stuff. Recharge and surf at McDonald's or Starbucks or whatever is close. Rope. Edit not to kill yourself, life is never that bad. Rope is just good to have around. Small gauge stuff can be used to hang bags of water, put up a tarp if you run across one, replacement shoelaces, repair a busted backpack, hell I even built some makeshift shelves with rope and trash lumber. Edit again, by popular demand, a gym membership. If you can afford it, a gym membership is a good fix for a hot shower. Not every small town has a gym, sometimes they can get expensive, sometimes they're just too far away, but it's definitely worth investigating. And finally, hygiene. If you stay clean shaven, wash with soap in nearby rivers, and brush your teeth, no one has to know and life is 10 times easier. You barely need the jacket even. Most grocery stores, department stores have assorted vendors and manufacturers who rent some level of space on the show floor. I have a family member who used to work for one such vendor, and she took me on as a temporary contractor to help set up displays and count inventory. What follows is a foolproof way to get into the back with very little backlash. 1. Identify the manufacturer, vendor, publisher, whatever for the item you're looking for, i.e. Sony. 2. Enter the store with a clipboard, a pen, and perhaps some cardboard boxes, promotional material, posters, glossy front cardboard used in displays, etc. Old branded boxes work too. In our Sony example, maybe a PS Vita box or a PS4 promo poster. These help seal the deal but are not needed. Just the clipboard and pen are necessary. Some tablestooly sheets work too. Just make some shit up on Excel, nobody will be looking very closely and it'll be hard to verify anything if you use vendor codes, gibberish numbers and letters and hyphens. 3. This step is important for if you get caught after. Go to the service counter returns area and sign into the vendor logbook. This is used by the vendor to verify your presence during payment disputes, as well as to pursue any theft by vendors, but it only works if you're actually a vendor rep. So, fill out the log sheet and grab a visitor badge if there is one. If not, it doesn't matter. 4. Go to the place where your products are displayed. In our example, we're going to go to the video game department and make sure the display is all good. Rearrange some boxes, make it look pretty, or just count a few things and mark it on your clipboard. This is the first step a vendor rep will take and helps to make it look legit. 5. Now that your cover is set, you can walk into the back room and do what you came for, pooping in the shoeboxes. 6. Upon leaving, sign out at the front. If you're taking anything with you, let the employees know that the box was damaged or that there was a recall for that particular run of items and you need a test from each store. If any employees of the store stop you at any time, either indicate your visitor badge and identify the company you represent, or, if no badge, let them know there were no badges but that you signed into the logbook. Tell them who you work for and why you're there. I was stopped by a regional director and store manager once while I was legitimately working but had no badge. They asked who I was and what I was doing. I told them my name and the company, and that there were no badges at the front but I was there to set up a display. They said okay and left. No follow-up, no questions, no supervision. If your cable bill has gone up a lot, call the company and scream that you want to cancel and go to a competitor. You'll be transferred to their retention department and they'll try and save you as a customer, meaning adding promos. If you escalate it enough, you can get some nice deals. Source: I used to work for Time Warner Cable. When I said scream, I meant it in the figurative sense. Please don't yell at phone reps. Frown: when I was a teenager I would go to Kmart, Walmart, etc. put on a new pair of shoes and leave my old ones in the box and walk out. After a while I would go back with a crappy pair of shoes, find the same pair and swap out again. I skateboarded as a kid and my mom was poor, so I went through a pair of shoes every month. Back in the 90s you could actually go to table booth that was actually in the club and they would test the drug for you for free. They made sure that if you were doing drugs, you might as well know what it is, what are the risks, and if it's worth doing or not. They got shut down by a bunch of angry moms because they didn't want their kids doing drugs. Well, no parent wants that, but goddamn. Fuck them for trying to keep them safe if they're gonna do it anyway, huh? The organization was called Dance Safe, I believe. I once spotted a $50 bill folded up on the dance floor. I walked up to it and put it in my pocket. There were lots of people that were closer than I was to it, but I'm guessing they were all too drunk to see it, and I'm betting if I had asked any of them, they'd all say it was theirs.
If there's ever a fly, or a mosquito, or like a yellow jacket, or some weird unknown insect in my house, my wife will not leave me alone until it is dead, and she will blame me personally for having a house that an insect entered. The only way that I'm able to buy peace for myself so that I can work on this YouTube channel that you enjoy is by using an electric fly swatter with an affiliate link in the description. The way this fly swatter works is that you hold down the little button and then you whack the fly as if it were a tennis ball, and it looks like a tennis racket. And what the electricity does is it stuns the insect or kills it so that you can clean it up easily. And the fact that it's a tennis racket gives you a much better chance of actually hitting the insect. And I found it invaluable, and I hope that you will decide to also use it in your home. And, if you're like a teenage boy, you can also whack other teenage boys with it. We used to do that in the Boy Scouts.
Look, you're really hot and I almost didn't have the nerve to come talk to you, but then I just pictured you pooping and everything seemed okay. It helped calm me down to know that you poop, too. I mean, I poop a lot. But I figured you also poop a lot sometimes. It's like we're the same. I bet you even have diarrhea sometimes. So, did you want to maybe grab a drink together? Wait, put down the mace. Once got a lot of hate for posting this to Life Per Tips, but it's definitely worked for me. Hotel lobbies are a great place to kill time if you need to wait for someone or something in a city. I live in NYC, and occasionally I've had to wait on a relative taking a bus into town, or someone is late for something, and then I just find a relatively swank hotel with a nice waiting area and a couch and sit there. It'll usually be about 20 minutes before anyone says anything, and if you need more time just say you're waiting for a friend who is staying at the hotel. Not heavily illegal, and I didn't think of this, but if you can speak 2 languages and need to write a quick paper, search up a paper covering that topic online in one language and then translate to your current language. Hard to be called out for plagiarism when the original paper is in a different language. Yup, I do the same thing. Sexual health is so important. Ladies, do Kegels. Seriously. Your vagina is muscular, and you need to exercise it. You'll get wetter, tighter, and sex will feel better. Not only that, but your orgasms will get stronger and stronger. Plus, it helps tremendously in childbirth. If you are worried about peeing a little after sneezing, then you definitely need to start doing Kegels immediately. You know adult butt wipes exist, right? You can't flush baby wipes, but you can flush the adult ones, says so on the package. Stop asking. I don't care if the package lies. I've flushed them over 10 years, no issues. If one day I have to hire a plumber, then that's on me. What am I yelling about? Loud noises. Fuck.
This year, like I said, I'm having a midlife crisis. I've started a YouTube channel and I'm on a big health kick. One thing that I found is very easy to eat, very easy to prepare, is I heat up chickpeas with chicken broth and tikka masala. And there are 2 schools of thought about how you should eat beans. Some people believe you should buy the dry beans and soak them, but I tried that and it was a disaster. So I buy canned beans every time. And if I'm opening 2 cans a day to be on this diet, it is a massive pain in the ass if the can has this jagged metal edge. I'm worried if little bits of metal are getting into my food and going to slice up my intestines. So I found this special can opener that actually opens the can in a way that is completely safe, no metal's getting in your food, and it is 1,000 times better than any other can opener I've ever used. So if you wind up, opening a lot of cans for whatever reason, maybe you've got a cat or something, you must buy this can opener from my affiliate link.